Hey there, gang. Time to unbox some more comic books. I've been given this box of comics to put some grades on so they can be sold on eBay, but I have no idea what is in this box. So I'm glad you're here. You can look over my shoulder as I unpack this bad boy, see what I've got to work with, and maybe we'll find some stuff to talk about, or at the very least, we'll get to gawk at some cool old comic books. So if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. So you know how this works by now if you've seen any of these videos, or if you haven't, maybe you're prescient enough you can kind of intuit what's going to happen. I've been given these books to sell on eBay. They're not given to me. I work for a company that buys and sells books on eBay, and my job is to grade the books that we sell as quote unquote raw singles, single comic book lots, and those we grade. We don't put grades on the multi-book lots, but the singles we do, and my job is to be the grader. That's about 30 hours of my work week is just grading comic books. But first I have to unpack this box, see what I've got to work with, see what the owner has plowed into this box from recent collections that we've purchased from all over the country. The seller name on eBay, by the way, is .comcomics. And so yeah, that's what this video is all about. So I will pull out the first stack of books here, see what we've got to work with, and what we might have to chat about. So Star Wars right there, the second issue, and you can't go wrong with that. This box, I think, is going to be all Bronze Age. And again, I haven't peeked. I have no idea what is in here, but just from looking at the top edges of the books, those spines, the bags that they were in, I think this is going to be a lot of Bronze Age, probably mostly Marvel and DC. We'll see. So this, I believe, number 3, either came out just before or just after the movie was released. The first 2 issues, if I recall correctly, actually came out before the movie hit theaters. And so 4 is the first one to come out after the movie was released. This bag is pretty rough. Maybe you can see it in the light, how dimpled this bag is. And viewers have asked me before, hey Duke, based on your expertise, what causes that? I really don't know. I don't know if it's the bag, if it's polyethylene, polypropylene, or something else. I presume it's got more to do with the storage conditions, like maybe this particular book was stored in a more humid environment, and so you've had some off-gassing from the books. And, there is really a debate on should you even bag and board your books at all. And for a lot of years, I've been collecting comic books for all my life, so close to 50 years. I'm more than 50, but the first couple I wasn't reading comics. But there were a lot of years there where I didn't use bags at all. I wanted them just let them off gas themselves. Don't trap those gases in the bag. And you're supposed to change the bags every 6 or 7 years anyway. So that gets to be a cost when you have a collection as big as mine. I've got about 26,000 books or somewhere in that neighborhood. So, considering the bag was really only just invented as something for dealers to put a price sticker on, should you bag and board your books? Well, I do like the boards because I like giving them some rigidity in the box. But I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not I should have bags. And lately I've been on a bag kick, but, ask me a year from now, and I might give you a different story. This one's a little dimpled up as well. So 6 was that's the adaptation of the movie. With number 7, we start a new storyline, which was never adapted into anything so far as I know. And I got to tell you, and I have told you in past videos, I've never been big on the licensed properties. Things that I am into in their original media, Star Wars, Star Trek, Well, Star Wars, I'm only into the original trilogy. I didn't like the prequels, and I despise the postquels. Uh, but I learned early on, and it was from Star Wars comics, because you get invested in a storyline, as I was in this, original story, kind of led by Han Solo and the group that he put together. And then when the next movie came out, it completely negated all of that. So really, until a new Star Wars comes out with a giant 7-foot tall talking green bunny rabbit, I'm not going to buy many Star Wars comic books. And I really don't, unless I get, some Star Wars books in, a big lot of books that I buy at an auction or something. I really don't go in for Star Wars very much. So here's Captain Marvel, #1. After a tryout in Marvel Superheroes, he graduated to his own book. And he never really sold that well. He was always a C-lister, but, he really wasn't designed to be a star character. Let's be honest. Captain Marvel was only invented just to jump claim on the trademark. Because after Fawcett went out of business and its Captain Marvel languished in kind of comic book limbo, in the mid-'60s, a fellow named Myron Fass claimed the name and put out a short-lived Captain Marvel title. It's a really weird book. It's basically, if you're familiar with the Legion of Superheroes and the character Arm Fall Off Boy, that's what that Captain Marvel was. Instead of saying Shazam, he would say Split, and when he said Split, his arms and legs would go flying in all different directions. It's really bizarre. If you ever run across that book, scoop it up, give it a read. But yeah, I mean, Marvel was only invented just to jump the copyright, because once that Myron Fass version went out, Stan Lee really didn't want DC reviving Captain Marvel, which was a real fear, or inventing some other use for the name. And so, because it wouldn't do well to have your Marvel Comics, but your main competition is putting out a book called Captain Marvel. So they did, and really, Captain Marvel, even to this day, even with Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel just exists so that DC has to call the original Captain Marvel Shazam. So here's #3. Here's #4 with Submariner. And I said this looked like it was going to be an all Bronze Age box, but these are Silver Age titles, kind of late Silver Age. And these are kind of stuck together, these bags. I'm trying to use some care in getting them apart while still being speedy enough that, the video doesn't become kind of boring for you, just watching me take a long time peeling these books apart. So, and I don't really have a lot to say about these Captain Marvel books because, frankly, I've never read these. Have you? Have you read the original run of Captain Marvel and Marvel Superheroes, and again, in his own title? If so, what did you think of Captain Marvel at the time? Were you just like, yeah, it's just a name? It's kind of, this looks like, well, I was going to say this was somebody trying to be Steranko, and it looks like it's Barry Windsor Smith and Herb Trimpe. So that could well be. Barry Windsor Smith, early on, I won't say did a lot of copying, but he followed a lot of inspirations, which, hey, that's how everyone starts. Even the greats started out, copying the Alex Raymond comic strips and things like that. So what do you think? Did you read Captain Marvel? Either are you old enough that you read it when it came out, or since then? What do you think of this run of Captain Marvel? And how deep are we going to get in? Are we going to get into the new costume here? This looks like, is that Ego? Oh no, that's the Super Intelligence. There it is. So that's the first appearance of the new costume. And that's the Captain Marvel I recognized from when I was a kid, although his title had been canceled by the time I came along. And we've already crossed into the Bronze Age, obviously. I missed it, but we've gone to 15 cents. But that's a cool costume. And so I always thought that was pretty cool. And this is if you're not familiar, This is where he kind of pairs with professional sidekick Rick Jones, who started out with the Hulk, then became Bucky to Captain America, and then ended up paired with Marvel. And so they had the Nega Bands, and so they slapped the Nega Bands together, and they would trade places. And one of them would be kind of in limbo or someplace, while the other one was here. So, and this latter run, whoops, I almost knocked over my Rocketeer. Gotta be careful. This latter part of the run has got some nice Gil Kane art. So there you go. And I don't know who it was, whether it was Stan Lee or somebody, used to complain, I'm grabbing another stack of books out of this box, used to complain that Gil Kane's art looked kind of homoerotic. I think it's Gil Kane I'm thinking of. Correct me if I've got the wrong artist. But either way, what do you think of Gil Kane's art? But the Android Man. Here's some more versus the Hulk. But I don't know why Marvel just never really, Captain Marvel, never really took off. He never really made the grade, as it were, until he died. The death of Captain Marvel was kind of the most significant thing he ever did. Here's Thanos, though, so that's an issue that will sell pretty well, even this late after the movies. It's kind of a classic cover right there. The Controller. And here we've got Drax and the Avengers. Again, trying to be fairly careful in ripping these books apart. The bags, I mean. So, Doctor Strange. This I don't think is this the first one? No, I think 169 is the first one. When Strange Tales split, Nick Fury got his own title, a new #1, and Doctor Strange continued the numbering. And my theory has always been, let me know in the comments below if you disagree with me, but my theory has been, because you had Tales to Astonish with Submariner and Hulk, you had Tales of Suspense with Iron Man and Captain America, and Strange Tales with Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. And you probably know the story that Marvel Comics at this period, through the Silver Age, were distributed by Independent News, which was owned by DC Comics, and DC limited Marvel to just 8 books per month that it would agree to distribute. But once the corporations came in hand and the companies started selling to other companies, that restriction got lifted. And so Marvel was free to publish as many books as it wanted. So it split out those books that were, twofers, 2 characters starring in one book. It split them apart into each character got his own title. And my theory has always been that the character that continued the numbering from the original title, that was the one that was perceived of the 2 to be the least popular. Because back in this day, a new #1 was a risk. Back in the newsstand era, and we're talking this is 1968 or so, distributors, and it was even more prevalent, in the later 60s, early 70s, when the mom and pop stores were going out of business and getting gobbled up by corporate chains, and they were just concerned about the bottom line, and so they didn't really want to carry comic books. It became even more a thing where a new #1 was considered a risk because the distributor and or the retailer might not carry it. It's something new. They don't want to dedicate their rack space to something that's untested. And so my theory has always been that the more popular character, the one that Marvel, Stan Lee, considered to be the more popular, got the #1. And it was the lesser character who continued the numbering to try and give him a little more of a fighting chance. So let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with that theory? Do you think that Doctor Strange was actually a lesser light to Nick Fury at this time? That Captain America was subpar to Iron Man? that, what was the other one? Hulk. Hulk was actually considered to be the lesser light when compared to Submariner. Didn't really help. This run of Doctor Strange did not last all that long. And they actually tried turning him into a superhero at one point to try and maybe increase his marketability. Dormammu. These bags are really, really tightly stuck together. Some nice Gene Colan art throughout here. A little change in the logo. I think trying to accentuate the strange aspect of the name to maybe, and this is the one where he becomes a, well, he doesn't become a superhero, but they just give him this costume that makes him look a little more like a traditional superhero in hopes that that would maybe give him an extra toehold in the marketplace. 179 with Spider-Man. So now you really know that Doctor Strange isn't doing that well sales-wise when when they're breaking out, the Spider-Man guest appearance. It's kind of like, if DC has Batman guest star in a book, that book probably isn't long for this world. They're flailing. They're struggling. 182 and 183. And is this the last one? I can't remember exactly how late the title went. I don't think it was much past 183. All right, let's see what we've got here. Our next stack is some Fantastic Four. And that's an early one, number 20. And 29, it started on Yancey Street. El Diablo and 30. These all look a little faded, like they've spent a little too much time near a light source. 32. Submariner with a Kirby collage cover. 34, House Divided. Actually, you know what, this Rocketeer, I know you like looking at him, but I'm going to move him to the side just to give me a little extra room. Here, part of Stan Lee's college tour, every issue had to have, of every title, had to have one issue with a calamity on campus, crack up on campus, crash on campus, some kind of protest. Daredevil guest starring. Number 39. The Battle of the Baxter Building. The brutal betrayal of Ben Grimm. To save you, why must I kill you? You got to give it to Stan Lee. He really knew his cover copy. He knew how to pitch that book. Lo, there shall be an ending. Even an ending became exciting under Stan Lee. And again, I'm old school. I believe that there should be, if not word balloons, at least some kind of copy on the cover of a comic book. I'm not in for just these poster covers, generally, by and large. All right. Here's number 47, Hidden Land. 51, very classic issue, This Man, This Monster. Here's 53 with Black Panther. 54 with Inhumans. God, I really shouldn't be doing this on video at all, because I know somebody's going to get mad at me, but these books are really stuck together. Or the bags, I should say. 59, Dr. Doom. It's only like every 10th one has a bag here. I mean a board. Where stalks the Sandman? Blastar. Sandman and Blastar. Who was the Kirby character in the car? Oh, Thundar. That's who it was. Not Blastar. It was Thundar. Thundar the Barbarian. Do you remember Thundar? Yeah, 64. 68. 69. By Ben Betrayed. When the Mighty Fall. We got 2 books here. What's the other one? 71. Some Silver Surfer. Giant guest star Bonanza. This issue does well, and a lot of times this cover is kind of browned up, but this one's looking pretty white. I think this one's going to do well. Looks a little faded here. Again, some of these books seem like they've been, if not in direct sunlight, certainly, you know, exposed to some light. But at least the rest of it is nice and white. 74, 75. A lot of Fantastic Four in this box. We just had a box with a lot of Fantastic Four. God, the Fantastic Four keeps on coming. It's at the top of the next stack, too. So I bet you this whole stack is going to be Fantastic Four. 76. Here is that a Nihilus? Thing No More. It's a common trope. This Monster Forever. Forever. Guest starring Wyatt Wingfoot. What, did they think that old Wyatt was going to be like a thing? I'm surprised to see him get a cover shout out. Enter the Exquisite Elemental. Boy, Stan just loved his alliteration. This is kind of a classic cover. Is there one book there? Yeah, just the one. Here's that the Molecule Master? No, Molecule Master is a Legion villain. Who the hell is this guy? Oh, now I feel dumb. I'll have to cut that part out. There's Latveria. The hooked up to their giant 8-track cassette players. Some more Doctor Doom. The Power and the Pride. Possibly the most offbeat ending of the year. It's got some water damage, though. That's too bad. The House There Was. Featuring the surprise supervillain of the year. Mole Man. Gotta love you some Mole Man. Skrull Takes a Slave. It's, what's that, 50 Shades of Skrull? The Thing Enslaved. Oh, these bags are awful. Ben Grimm versus Torgo. That must be Torgo. The Frightful Four. Is that Pastepot Pete, Sandman, Wizard, and Medusa? And this one's got a board. So, if the FF fails, it means World War III. All right, I'll take your word for it. Next stack. Next stack. Let's see how long the Fantastic Four continues here. 96. 97. Monster from the Lost Lagoon. Doomsday on the Moon. Torch Goes Wild. And number 99. Do we have 100? What do you think? Do you think we have 100? Or did the owner clock that one off to go to CGC? Let's take a look. And yeah, we have it. Look at that. An anniversary issue. Back when an anniversary issue was a big deal. Or it kind of wasn't. Sometimes an anniversary issue just go right by without anyone really making a thing of it. Probably this fold is why it didn't go to CGC. Oh, that, and it looks like this top staple is blown. 101. 102, I believe that is the last Jack Kirby issue. Jack quit, went to DC. This issue was finished by who? Buscema? Somebody. Here's 104. Now we're into the new era. And Stan Lee doesn't stick around that long after Kirby leaves. I think he only goes to like the 112 or something. I'd have to look that up. Here's 6, 107. That's kind of a classic cover as well. Kind of your evolution of man there, that you always see on the t-shirts and the posters. This issue was actually done from something that Jack Kirby had half finished when he quit. So it's kind of made up mostly out of Kirby panels. And as I recall, the pages got cut up and reformatted and finished by others. So people say that Jack Kirby only went to 102. Well, then there's kind of the plus 108 kind of thing. But he only meant to go to 102. And here's some Annihilus. 110. Unfortunately, we have the regular cover, not the seasick cover. If you get the one with everyone looking a little green around the gills, that's a coloring error, and that one's fairly valuable. 111. Things Rung Amok. Oh, no, not Things, just The Thing. I'm sorry. Here's a classic cover. Everybody likes this one. Boom, boom, boom. The Coming of the Overmind. The Watcher Speaks. My goodness, this one has it all. 114. Who Can Stop the Overmind? Still 15 cents, so it's not going to be 15 cents much longer. As a matter of fact, there it is, 116. So this is the lone 25-cent issue when Marvel and DC both went to 25 cents. And then the very next month, whoops, we don't have it. But the very next month, take my word for it, Marvel stabbed DC in the back and went back to 20 cents. So still a price increase from the 15 cents, but they started looking good compared to DC, being just 20 cents compared to 25. All right, here's something that would have been in the dollar box a year ago, but now because of the WandaVision show, this is deemed worthy of selling as a single. This was a great series. How much of it do we have here? 6, 4, long shot. Oh, long shot. A long shot is what I do when I have a fart, and turns out to be a juicy toot. That's a long shot. A long shot by Arthur Adams. I just had this one in a box recently. I've got to look up and see why this one is special, because I would have expected to find that in a dollar box. It's kind of weird too, because he looks pregnant. The way the front part of his tunic kind of extends out more than you would expect from the arch of his back. I don't know. All right, let's look at some more comic books, shall we? And the rest of this is all in boards, bags and boards, which I think might actually mean that it's safe to bring the Rocketeer back. Boom. I can't tell if I've got him all on camera or not. He doesn't seem like he wants to stand anymore. Come on there, Bubby. You can do it. Do it for Daddy. There we go. So, Blitzkrieg. That was a short-lived DC book that lasted about 5 issues, I think. But that was a very daring thing, I think, for DC to do. Not only a World War II book, but a World War II book as seen through the enemy eyes. So it's like, you probably couldn't do this book today. If you tried to do a book or even a story through the eyes of the Nazis or the Japanese or whoever, you would get canceled in a heartbeat, I'm sure. People just want to erase any kind of history they don't agree with or makes them uncomfortable. So, But you know how it is. There are good guys and bad guys on all sides, all colors, all creeds. First appearance of He-Man in the DCU, I believe. Unfortunate fold right here, but that'll still do well. What If starring the Avengers? 108. Huh. Well, again, that's something else I would have expected to find in the dollar box. But, Man of Steel, dead again. Love the Micronauts. I keep telling you to go out and get yourself some Micronauts books. You will thank me. You will thank me, especially the first dozen issues or so. There's number 1. The last issue of Marvel Team Up, and it's the newsstand copy. First appearance of Captain Britain in the U.S. He appeared first in a book over in the UK, published by Marvel UK, so he was a Marvel character from the beginning. But this is his first appearance stateside. And now we're on Thor. Some Silver Age Thor. And these look, I'm not going to say low grade, but mid grade. They've got a little bit of a dingy isn't really the right word. There's ego. Boom. We'll blow through these because we've seen a lot of Thor recently in recent boxes. It's like, how many times can I show you the same thing? Well, we can certainly sell the same thing. We sell one, and then we'll sell it again and again and again. People will keep on buying it. By golly. But how often do you want to look at it with me unboxing it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Does this get old to you, looking at the same boxes? Would you prefer that rather than, doing just a raw unbox, just pulling the books out as they are, would you rather I sort of curated these videos and maybe took out some of the things that we've seen a bunch in the recent past, like all these Thors? We've seen full runs of Thor recently. Would you rather that I took that stuff out and just made a video of the stuff we haven't seen in a while? Because how many times can I make the dildo joke? I don't know. So you tell me. Does it get old for you? My dad jokes? I would be too, totally, If I'd had kids and they came home with their girlfriend or boyfriend and, after dinner or whatever, they stay the weekend, something, and they'd be complaining about, I've heard your dad's whatever joke 3 times already. It's only been 2 days. I think we're going to finish up with Thor here. Boom, boom. Boom. More Thor, more Thor. Brr. Maybe I should do a Thor grading video so you can look inside some of these books. Although I did have somebody ask, a lot of the grading videos are lower grade and they want high grade. Well, if these were super high grade, they would have gone to CGC. They wouldn't be on my desk. They're on my desk because they're kind of mid-grade, worth selling as a single. These were 9.8s, 9.6s. They'd be off to CGC. And that's it. That's the last book in that box. I hope you had some fun. I hope you enjoyed that, such as it was. And until the next time we do this again, please do. And maybe we won't do it again. If the comments dictate that, no, we're fine with the raw unboxings, show us some stuff we don't see that often. Don't keep showing us the same stuff over and over. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever folks want to see. But until whatever the next video is, until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other. Hey there, gang. Time to unbox another box of comic books. Fuck me, that's not good. That's stupid. That sounds dumb. Hey there, gang. Time to unbox another... fuck me.